Oh, man, that's great. God, can I have one of these?
I wish I was that thin and attractive now.
That's a great picture. God, it makes me cry.
Yeah, this really brings it back.
Oh my God, what was wrong with me?
I actually have this picture at home. It's always a constant reminder and stuff that sometimes you can have too much fun on locations.
The whole thing was like a great summer camp experience. It was long hours and hard work, but Taylor made it so you didn't finish a day's work thinking, man, all that stuff I could have done and didn't get to do.
Everyone put their best foot forward, and yours had to be there too, or you were gonna stick out, and not in a good way. So there was pressure to perform, pressure to be good, pressure to be innovative, that I think all of us put on ourselves. You didn't want to be the one that didn't come up to par with everyone else. You just, it's work in that sense. But when you're working with people that are that good at what they do, you will look better.
They were all wonderful actors. I mean, really wonderful. I love actors. I truly love them. And I empathize with what all actors go through. And they were, as most actors do, in an act of generosity to yourself and to others, you become the character.
Driver, but there's several qualities that you must have as far as focus, stamina, the mental, the physical, being healthy, being fit.
They have to be incredibly focused, these guys.
When I'm in the race car, I'm a completely focused, tunnel vision. I know exactly what I need to do in order to make the best out of our race.
This is coming up on turn 1, Big California with Speedway. You want to enter up as high as possible to make the low cut down to the center line here to the white line. Get back on the gas as quickly as possible. Just straighten out this back straightaway. You're going to notice a lot of jockeying for position, back and forth, side to side, trying to get that next spot. Now we're going into turn 3. Similar to turn 1, you want to keep it a little bit high going in, going down to the apex of the corner on the white line, holding it down to the white line at the bottom so you can get up underneath somebody and make it as straight as possible coming up and get back on the gas. Here's the front straightaway in California, which is a tri-oval. I like the low line coming off the corner of Ford, making a better position to go back into turn 1.
Hi, I'm Whoopi Goldberg, and we're in New York City today for a very special occasion. Now, how special is it? Well, it's not every day that you can get William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Patrick Stewart, and Jonathan Frakes together at the same time in the same room. And we have managed to gather them together for what we are calling a Star Trek Summit. It's an opportunity to talk about Star Trek and the films and other points of interest, and I'm going to be your host. So we hope that you're going to find it, as Spock would say, fascinating.
Live long and prosper.
Feature.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
The Nexus. It was like being inside joy.
It's been an honor.
Who am I to argue with the captain of the Enterprise?
To family.
My friends, we've come home.
I want to welcome everybody to the first Star Trek Summit.
First.
But before we do anything else, Have you all ever just sat down and hung out like this before? Is this the first time everybody's been together?
No. You guys must have hung out. Well, you looked like you were hanging out.
Yeah, we were loose.
Loose? And Lenny and I have hung out.
We have hung out, yeah.
And I've hung out with Patrick.
Yeah, and we hung out longer than you hung out.
If I hung out with you, and I hung out with him, and you hung out with him, then you and I hung out, which means you hung out with him.
I've hung out with you, and now I'm hanging out with you.
Billy and I have spent some hanging time.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Coach Mark Ellis, and I'm here with Josh McCown, former Texas high school quarterback, college quarterback, and now plays in the NFL. Josh, it's good to see you here with us today. We're going to take a little bit of time here, Josh, to talk about a movie that's near and dear to my heart, Varsity Blues.
I think I just graduated high school, so it was very pertinent to where I was in life as far as coming out of that whole scene, especially being a Texas high school football player. So it was kind of a neat thing for me, and a film that really me and my peers connected to at the time.
One of the hardest things to do in choreographed football, Josh, we all know who's going to make the tackle.
Right.
We all know I need to get to the 33-yard line. I need to get the first down. We all know who's going to make the fumble. We all know who's going to score a touchdown. You can see here, let's run it. You can see here that the kid starts to put his hands on him, starts to try to wrap him up, and then, whoa, literally just lets go of him. He never really gets his hat on him, does he?
No, he doesn't. And like you said, not probably as real as you would like to see as far as the wrap up and the slide down. The action of the back is very, very believable. The stiff arm there. And so I don't know if the action of the back kind of marries with the action of the safety.
This film was so successful on so many levels that you couldn't turn around without seeing one form or another of it.
It just happened to hit at a great time. It played all through the end of December, January, February, March, April, just kept going.
It's had a very powerful impact on the world, which is great because it's a pretty powerful script.
In a store, you'd see the fashions everywhere. If you were listening to the radio, you'd hear the music everywhere. It was really overwhelming.
I think a 16-year-old of 2007 could watch Saturday Night Fever and see that its themes are resonant for today.
It shot John Travolta to international fame. No one knew at the time that it was going to be such a classic, and in many ways a complete period piece.
Nobody realized that we were working on anything that somebody was going to want to make documentary material about 30 years later.
I'm glad that I was a part of something that touched people's lives to the degree that did, that had such an impact on so many people.
It appeals to everybody, all these young people, I think, throughout the world, it seems, really identified with this thing.
It was so embraced by the public, and then the media ran with it, so it was pretty much everywhere.
It is powerful. It's primal material.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf records the finest performance, arguably, of Richard Burton on the screen.
As far as filmmaking goes, I think they were really ahead of their time.
I believe it's true that people were really working to their top.
Here was a 34-year-old unknown director, two actors which were considered to be somewhat miscast, a very kind of daring, emotionally violent film, which could not have gone over with the movie going public. So I think it was a real surprise.
The play opened on Broadway on October 1962. It was produced by Richard Barr and Clinton Wilder. It was directed by Alan Schneider, and it starred the great Uta Hagen as Martha, Arthur Hill as George, Melinda Dillon played Honey, and George Grizzard played Nick.
My favorite review said this is a play that should only be seen by dirty-minded women, which, instantly guaranteed the commercial success of the play.
It went on to win 5 Tony Awards: Best Production, the Best Play, the Best Direction, and the Best Male and Female Actor of the Year. It went on to win the Drama Critics Award for the best play.
As I was writing the play, I wasn't thinking, gee, I'm writing good roles here for actors. But they turned out to be. I was just writing real people who happened to be articulate and capable of using language to wound and to amuse.
Everybody said at the time, well, they'll never make a movie out of this, you know, it'll be too rough for Hollywood, and too, you know, they'd have to trim back the language, and then they would emasculate the play and all that stuff. So, you know, all credit to Jack Warner. I mean, it's alleged to be that he saw the play on opening night and said, gotta have it and all that stuff.